exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of...
Barbados, get up! Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning indeed, and a fantastic Friday to you wherever you are. Welcome to today. Today is Friday, the 19th of September, 2025. I'm Crystal Bowen. It's always wonderful having you company. To those of you watching us on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, to all of you, we say thank you. Remember to share the show. Thank you for sharing the show, and encourage others to come by, spend some time with us every weekday morning from 6 o'clock. And of course, if you know of something or someone whose story we have to tell, then you have to tell us about it. And we'd like for you to tell us by sending us an email. That's your surest way of connecting with the show, by email. That email address is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Phones work, yes, but send the email. The producer will see it and the producer will respond to you. So morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and we thank you for sharing your ideas, your thoughts, and everything with us. If you're wondering what's this on my tie, this is my ribbon in support of the Barbados Alzheimer's Association, as we encourage you to remember Alzheimer's and remember dementia, and we want you to ask the questions there that flow therefrom. So remember also there will be in the Massey Warrens, and as you do, don't just walk on by, spend some time, make a contribution, and you can get a pin or any of the other paraphernalia they have there, but your money and your donation goes a long way to supporting the work and the efforts of the Barbados Alzheimer's Association. So today, while you wear your color purple, take a picture of yourself in your colors purple, and wherever your purple is, take a picture, tag the Barbados Alzheimer's Association. Let's blanket all over this space in purple today. So if you're still undecided as to what to wear, search your wardrobe, look for something purple, and make that choice today. And take a picture of yourself wearing proudly your support for the Barbados Alzheimer's Association. Thanks. Remember the theme, ask about Alzheimer's, ask about dementia. It's a call to action. In asking, you get the answers and you seek the education that you're looking for to help you care for your loved one and help you care for self as well. So there's a lot going on. It being the 19th is also the 42nd anniversary of independence of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So all of you from St. Kitts and Nevis, our brothers and sisters, we say Happy Independence Day to you, marking 42 years. And so congratulations on that milestone as well. Well done. There's a lot happening this weekend, and so a few things we want to remind you of. You would have heard us speak to this just yesterday, as a matter of fact, about Let's Create a Fanfare for Peace. It's a charity dinner by the Tyrese Caesar Foundation. Take a look at your screen right now. It's happening tomorrow, Saturday, at the Mahogany Ridge in St. James. It starts cocktails at 6:30 and the dinner starts at 7. So the earlier you get there, the better for you. You'll engage in cocktails and you'll have your dinner. Tickets are available if you go to TyreseCaesar.foundation online, TyreseCaesar.foundation, and you get a ticket, or you can go to Bedazzle at Sky Mall or Celtronics at Sheraton Mall and get your ticket. But tickets are going very, very quickly, so I want to encourage you to get it today. You're encouraged to wear formal wear in the colors of royal blue, white, or orange. You make your pick. Royal blue, white, or orange, but lend support to that tomorrow evening at Mahogany Ridge in St. James. Also happening tomorrow, actually this one is now at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre, where the Barbados First West Indies jurisdiction, in association with the Barbados Community Health Nurses here, they're having a big community health fair. It's at Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre. Again, look at your screen. Look at your screen. Don't be passive. It's tomorrow starting at 10 in the morning till 5. And there's a lot happening there. Many, many test options. Available services offered is right there on your bottom left. Take a look and you can turn up. Remember, healthy living for stronger living. There is a shuttle service being provided by at the Granville Williams Terminal by the Transport Board from gate number 1, 9:30, 11:30 and 1:30, and then the reverse back to the terminal. So we want to encourage as many of you as possible to attend to seek knowledge and information and inspiration. There are booths and spaces where you can have personal consultation. Not everything is done in public, but you can turn up and see what's available to you health-wise, so you take greater care of self and soul. All of that happening tomorrow. Now this morning we'll meet a young woman who is driven never to forget her mother. And she reminds us that we must all know the signs of cervical cancer. She'll talk to us about that journey and that story in just a little while. And we're just days away from the annual Construction and Design Conference. We get details about what it is, where it is, and for who it is in just a little while as well. The Diabetes and Hypertension Association of Barbados is marking 50 years this year, and they're embarking on a primary school quiz starting at the bottom. And so there's a call now for young children to be a part of this. We'll give you details this morning as well. Regathering in St. James ramps up as we continue to focus this month of September on what's happening in St. James, gathering in St. James under the theme of cricket. And there's a lot happening this weekend and next weekend. The team will join us to tell us what to expect and how we can continue to engage in the activities in St. James. There's a book written from the heart of a dancer. Oh, this sounds like a wonderful, delightful read. And so we'll meet with one dancer who is a part of the organization that's pulled us all together to find out what that book is about and what really happens as their heart beats through dance. So we'll talk to them a little bit more about that. We'll also take a closer look at the Barbados population policy. How does that relate to you? How does that relate to me? How does that relate to environment? How does that relate to everything we do? We'll spend some time with the UNDP taking a look at that. How do they go about knowing what they know? And now that they know, what do we do together with the information that we've gleaned there from? We'll also meet this morning an unsung hero who has spent more than 30 years of self-sacrifice. I know you can't wait to find out who she is. She'll join us in a moment to talk to me about her story and all of the things that really kept her quiet, but all of the things for which she continues to make a big noise and a big sound in our community about. Pat Ben, morning to you. Have a lovely today indeed. And as we as Barbados continue and we mark the 70th anniversary of the passage of Hurricane Jeanette, lest we forget, there's a talk about that, an opportunity for the community to come together to share more, not just memories and reminisce, but some of the lessons learned therefrom. Sherilyn Even, good morning to you as well from Claybury's Social Activity Group. You have a lovely today. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So, as you can tell, there's a lot to get to. I shall not dilly-dally further. Let's introduce you now to this young lady whose mother left her with a legacy that she is proud to continue. and that is to educate further about the condition known as cervical cancer. Her name is Crystal Bowen, and Crystal joins me now. Crystal, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being bold to continue your mother's charge, which is to inform and educate. But give us a little bit of the background story to your journey and your mother.
Right. So my journey started in 2022. In March of that year, I was faced with a tremendous crisis. My mom, she became very, very ill in January, and it was very mysterious. We knew that she was dealing with health challenges, but we were going to the hospital, you know, everything was seemingly okay, but she was losing weight, she was becoming weaker, and seemingly her health was deteriorating. So from January, she found herself in hospital. By March, around the 16th, the doctors told me, well, your mom, she has cervical cancer, and it's pretty advanced. The 17th of March, she passed away. And that turned my life literally upside down. I am her only child, so I was faced with the reality of so many things. And one of the things that I felt that I needed to make a change is to try to inform Barbadians about cervical cancer, because I never really heard much about it when I was growing up. So when August of that year came, I decided that I was going to create a campaign called 63 Days of Cervical Cancer Awareness and HPV Prevention. And it runs from August 29th to October 30, which is my mother's birthday. It ends on that day. So during that period, I go on social and I talk a lot about cervical cancer, HPV, the causes, what are some of the facts and figures, and also remind women to get their pap smear screening. So that has been my focus for the last somewhat few years, and I have been really, you know, motivated to continue this effort because I think more women need to know about it.
I think you were stunned as well, January to March, and the day before and then the day after.
Yeah.
You were met with your love of your life being plucked away from you. And so it forced you now to get to know more about it. And in knowing more about it, because, and I'm sure a lot of it was driven for selfish reasons. If this happened to mommy, could this happen to me?
Could it happen to me? Yeah.
And so in your search for that information to answers to that question, what have you discovered?
Well, one of the things that I have discovered is that HPV is extremely common, which is the human papillomavirus, right? It's a very common STI. It is one that can leave the body fairly quickly, but sometimes it stick around, it can be dormant, and it can lead to cervical cancer. Now, the thing about cervical cancer is that if you get it and you treat it early enough, you will survive, right? But most of the time, many women either forget to get their pap smears, or they're not that conscious about it, and then they wait too long, and then they get seriously ill and they die. My challenge with cervical cancer is that it's extremely deadly, even though the numbers are not that high in comparison to breast or colon or even prostate. It is extremely deadly. So it's important to push that message to get screened.
This is a total change of life for you, because up until that point in time in 2022, you had your own plan for your life.
Yeah.
Now your plan for your life includes the activism around cervical cancer and ensuring that other women get to know more about it so that they themselves can be protected against it.
Yeah.
Do you get the sense that it's having an impact? And if so, what kind of impact do you see?
I know I don't have, it's hard with advocacy, you know, you're doing things. Obviously, on social media, you get your numbers and your views and stuff. But for me, I take what I get in the times where there's no lights, there's no numbers, there's no metrics. I get the little DMs, you know, the little calls, the little conversations. I remember I was calling about having a talk in Speightstown, and I had this conversation with this lady. She said, you know, it's been a while. Do you think I still need to get a pap smear? And I said, yes, don't mind that you're much older, because it can affect older women, right? So I'm like, it is very important to share that information. So that has been my message, to continue to keep spreading the word and encouraging women to get screened.
From quite young.
Yeah, from you can start in your 25 onward.
For me, in my old age, that's quite young indeed. And so it's incumbent that women actually do this. And so you've written a book.
Yes.
Tell me about what led you to now, more than just talking, to writing, to documenting, so other people can walk your journey with you.
I can't go over it. My mom was an incredible person. She had overcome so much adversity. She went through so much, especially in her childhood, growing up as an adult. She became a really phenomenal cook and chef. She cooked for so many people, from PMs, prime ministers, to the persons in Cheapside Market. She did so much in her life, and I wanted to find a long-lasting way to represent that. And I thought writing a book would have been a good way. And also to talk about cervical cancer and HPV, and about these subtle signs that were showing up as she was, getting older and, changing in life. So that was my focus. So it has in like recipes, and also talks about her early life and her career, and eventually her death.
What's the book called?
Food, My Mother's Love Language, Celebrating the Life of Charlene Bowen. I know it's a mouthful.
No, that's
person.
all right. It's right there on your screen, folks. That's it right there on your screen. That's what you're looking for. Is it available online, first
It's
of all?
available on Amazon. If you reach out to me, I can get you a physical copy.
Right.
One day I hope to get it in stores, but you can get it on Amazon. If you reach out to me, I can get you a copy.
So that's what you're looking for when you go onto Amazon and search Food, My Mother's Love Language. Celebrating the life of
Charlene Bowen.
Charlene Bowen.
Yeah.
And so, out of your love for your mother, out of your passion for education, out of your passion to see other women not have to go through with what your mother has been through, and to be able to take their own life and their health in hand, you've done this.
Yes.
And so what kinds of things, I know that part of what you're doing now is that there is you're urging women to get the early screening.
Yeah.
Go to the Barbados Cancer Society, get your early screening. And for some women, there's a cost.
Yes.
And so for the service. And so what's happening now so that women can help manage that cost?
Well, beautiful things happen I'm just so happy about right now. So at the moment at the Barbados Cancer Society, there is a special going on. It has been extended until October, the ending of October, where women can go and get their pap smear for $50. Normally it's a little bit higher than that, but for this period right up to October, this is an opportunity for you to get your pap smear. And most importantly, as we're so close to October, because I'm not one to be like, oh, it's only about cervical cancer, also make sure you get your breast cancer screening. I think those two pair good together. So having that, knowing that you can go and get your pap smear and also get your breast screening at the same place is a great thing for women. So I do encourage all women to go and take advantage of this opportunity.
Right. So your campaign runs until your mother's birthday, October the 30th.
Yes.
And this is online generally through your socials?
Yeah, I usually, because it's more convenient, wherever possible, I'll try to go into the community. In the past, I have gone into areas like Black Rock and also in Sunset Crest, and I worked with the Bayview Laboratory, which have the HPV self-collection kit. So you can screen yourself for HPV here in Barbados. You can go home, you take the swab, it goes to the lab, and it goes to your doctor. So that is a very interesting way of how you can learn about your HPV status, even if you don't want to go to your doctor. There's a lot of stigma about this particular condition.
But I think women handle that so much better than men, for sure. And so it becomes a part of your regular routine, ladies. Your regular checks.
Yes.
Your mammogram.
Yes.
And also a check for cervical cancer.
Yes.
And HPV generally, because if you can address the HPV early,
Yes.
your chances of survival is so much increased.
Yes.
And so that's important. If you could hear the voice of your mother now, what do you think she'll say to you?
I think my mom would be extremely proud of me. Luckily, before she died, I had like a rough draft of what the book would look like. Obviously, I didn't expect her to pass away and not see the final thing, but I knew she was very, very proud of me and what I continue to do. And this is in line with what she would have done. She was very community-oriented person, very driven about health and stuff. So I think she would be very proud.
When she received the diagnosis then, how did that change her behavior?
Oh man, cancer is a terrible thing. I knew she was aware of it, but she was so out of it. And that's the scary thing about both cervical cancer and all cancers. When you're in those end stages, life is so different. you know, you're not able to, it seems like there's a totally different person there. And I was just so grateful that I had a couple of months with my mom. We had a little cousin that she was raising. And I have these little videos on my phone that I just cherish so much because that was her happy time before the horrible thing happened, which was cervical cancer. So it was a terrible thing. But my mom was supported spiritually. We had people like Reverend Burke. We had all those people around her, the family, all her friends, the Palliative Care Association, working with the Cancer Society, also working with the Cancer Support Services. They were all there for her. And I just want to commend these entities for doing such a great job. Yeah.
Crystal Bowen says to all women this morning, get your tests done. Get your mammograms, get your testing for HPV, get your testing for cervical cancer, get your tests done.
Yeah.
Crystal Bowen this morning reminds you of what happened to her mother, and if you'll watch the trajectory, within 3 to so months, she was departed from this earth.
Yeah.
The earlier you catch it, the greater your chances of survival. Crystal Bowen has written a book to help you not just chronicle her mother's passage through food, but also to celebrate who her mother is and so on. You can buy it yourself. Again, the title of the book is called, Crystal?
Food, My Mother's Love Language, Celebrating the Life of Charlene Bowen.
It's available on Amazon. If you want to get a physical copy in your hand, you can contact Crystal Bowen. Check the spelling of her name. That's with a K. Crystal Bowen. Let's make that crystal clear. And so how can people reach you on your social so we can follow your campaign as well?
So everybody knows me as Miss Penny. Even at work, I am Penny, right? So it's Miss_Penny246. So you can follow me on Instagram, and I'm very responsive. You can reach out to me, message me, and we can have a chat. Even if you have any questions, concerns, you need any direction, I'm here for you.
She's there for us indeed. Moved by her mother to make a difference, Crystal Bowen continues. Miss_Penny246 on socials is where you can find her. See the campaign that runs until the 30th of October, which is her mother's birthday. And so as a daughter, she proudly stands up for her mother, and she encourages you to learn from the experience. You could see from the smiles on her face, she's not in mourning, she's in celebration. And so that's what it's all about. We can all ourselves find happy ways to stay relevant and true to our legacy, and that's given to her by her mother. And so get the book, read the book, engage in the recipes, but learn more about your health through cervical cancer. Ladies, she's encouraging you to go to the Barbados Cancer Society because there's a special supported by the Massey Foundation, and they want you to benefit from those tests at hugely discounted rates indeed. But you need to call, make your appointment, and know your numbers, know your status indeed. Thank you so much, Crystal.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All the very best to you. We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
23 and a half after 6 o'clock. You've been hearing about this on the radio. You have been hearing about this on the radio. The upcoming Barbados Annual Design Conference being hosted by TVET Council and other partners, of course, next week. We're joined this morning by Dario Walcott, who is a Senior Technical Officer acting with TVET Council, and with him is Kevin Thompson, the Technical Sales Assistant with BRC West Indies Limited, one of the partners in this indeed. So Dario, I'll start with you. What's this conference to achieve?
All right, so firstly, it's the Barbados Annual Construction and Design Conference. And this conference is to provide continuous professional development for industry professionals.
So the conference is merely for industry professionals?
Well, the conference itself, so that's part of it. So the conference itself, a 3-day conference from September 24th to 26th. But on the 24th, we have a construction open day.
Okay.
Which is for the public.
Good.
Which allows the public to come and see the latest in technology. So if you're the maintenance person at home, you're the do-it-yourself person, and you want to know what technologies out there, you come to our construction open day.
This is open not just to men alone, but women. Y'all are very handy nowadays.
Maintenance person, and not, I didn't put any gender on it.
What about children and schools from who are into technical studies?
Yes, so the students are also welcome to the construction open day, but we also have a career showcase on September 25th, which will involve students from the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology, Barbados Community College, Barbados Vocational Training Board, and some secondary schools in Barbados.
Where is it being held?
Sandals Royal.
Now, you said so, right? A beer just go like, what part that is? So
when you go down, we can give the Bajan directions. When you go down Maxwell Course Road, if you know Maxwell Course Road, Sandals Royal will be on your right.
If you're leaving the Top Rock roundabout. So it's on your right turn.
So you turn the right turn down to Maxwell Course Road, and the hotel is on your right. The car park is on your left. The open day will be there in the car park. Can't miss it.
You really can't miss it. I know where it is, but it's on Maxwell Road. The course road is the other road, one by the coast. So it's Maxwell Road, the main road that leads you from Top Rock, and you make a right turn, and then it's right there on your right as well. There's ample parking on the left, and you can just come and be a part of it. Indeed, this is happening on the 24th to the 26th at Sandals Royal. BRC, you're a member of all of this. I mean, you are, after all, a supplier into the construction industry, construction and design industry.
That's right.
So let's talk a little bit about the role and what will be happening. What is BRC bringing to this?
Well, our goal really is to share our products, our services, also to exchange ideas and solutions with partners, professionals, innovators, stakeholders, so that, you know, we can have an understanding of what the construction industry needs today, and also the emerging trends that we have going forward as well. So we can position not only BRC, but we can position the construction industry, and by that means we can position the nation to stand out, not just in the region, but more on a global platform.
Excite me about what BRC has. This could probably be new or recently introduced as it relates to construction and design.
Well, we offer a lot of products and services that the wider nation doesn't really understand or really know about. We do a lot of roofing, do the insulation, we do hurricane shutters. I know that's something that, especially for this time of the year, is very, very prominent. We do seamless guttering. We have our cut and bent, which is something a lot of contractors are very interested in because it saves them time, it saves them money, so they can push their projects even further and faster and even more efficient and effective. And we sell a whole range of steel. You know, sometimes when people hear BRC, people just think of the mesh that goes into the floor.
Yes.
But we have a lot of accessories that goes along with the roofing sheets. A whole type of different types of roofing, actually. We do U-panel, R-panel, we do permacene, we do the 10-tree. And I may be calling these names, but you might be there wondering, like, what are these? So when I say 10-tree, you know, the old-time galvanized, I had the
I got you, the
right.
crews, right,
So,
I got you.
So that's why
Corrugated.
that's why we're partnering with the TVET Council so that we can bring a brand awareness and product awareness to the nation and hopefully then to the global market as well.
And you guys will be there each day of the conference?
Yeah, we'll be there.
Oh, fantastic. Anything else new, Dario, that we can expect at this conference?
So this conference, we have the dinner and awards, where we are recognizing the work of those in the construction and design sector. We have about 7 different categories, 9 awards. That will be on September 27th at Sandals Royal Hotel as well. As I mentioned earlier, we have the career showcase,
right?
And Her Excellency, the President of Barbados, Dame Sandra Mason, will be there to open the career showcase. And as I said, for the first time, our construction opened there.
What time is that career showcase being opened?
The career showcase, 1 p.m.
1 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yes.
But it's happening from earlier in the morning?
So the conference begins early in the morning from 9 a.m. And in the afternoon, the conference participants go on a guided tour,
right,
on the historic Bridgetown. And then the students then coming in the afternoon for the career showcase.
And the career showcase ends around what time of that day?
5.
Okay. There's a reason I'm thinking it that way, because I'm seeing myself attending. Because and would that be open also to anybody to walk in and walk and be
No, you
part
need
of?
to register with TVET Council.
All right. So register with the TVET Council.
Yes.
And how does that work? Do I go walk into you, or do I go online?
You can
to
go
register?
online, tvetcouncil.com.bb. You can send an email at llu@tvetcouncil.com.bb. You can reach out on our social handles, tvetcouncil.com.bb. Exactly. To reach out to us and just register for those. The conference itself, the dinner and awards, you can purchase a ticket for that. You can come to the construction opening. That is free and open to everyone. Yeah, come out and see.
And the opening is when?
The opening ceremony will be on Wednesday, September 24th at 9 a.m.
That's right. So we can come to that one. And the design component, now, because I understand the construction part of it, the design component, how is that working?
So, we bring all the professions together.
Okay.
So we have partners with the Barbados Institute of Architects and the Barbados Association of Professional Engineers. They come together. The conference will be offering 17 continuous professional development hours to industry professionals. That will be accredited with a digital badge and e-certificate that persons can give to their associations to show proof of their CPDs. And we have presenters from around the world speaking about the latest in trends and technology in the construction and design conference.
This is really important that people in the industry really do show up, because as you said, you get credits coming out of it that add to your professional resume, so to speak. And so registration for this is ongoing.
Yes.
tvetcouncil.com.bb. I remember the .com.bb. So tvetcouncil.com.bb. On your screen, you will see the website to which you go, and when you get there, you begin to make your registration. And folks, it's really a no-brainer that you do turn up, because you're learning from industry giants. You're also being exposed to the latest in products and services and range of items that will help to strengthen your construction and your design of the places we work and we live, and we want to encourage as many of you as possible. Remember, the career showcase is open to school children, and we want you to make possible your school children to turn up and be a part of it. It's all happening at Sandals Royal in Maxwell. Come up from Top Rock. You go there a couple, and then there's a right turn onto it. I'm not. If I identify where it is, I'm going to be selling and promoting. I don't want to do that. So ask anyone if you're uncertain on Maxwell Road. It's not too far from the roundabout. You come up, you make the right turn, and on your right you have Sandals Royals. On the left you'll have the parking, and you come inside and you engage with all of these days of really excellence in construction and design, hosted by the TVET Councils and its partners indeed. And so we're looking forward to this. All the best.
Thank you.
To you gentlemen, and BRC is there. BRC has always been a partner in the construction of homes and dwellings everywhere. Businesses as well. And so they want to show you what they have to help you make your spaces far more resilient, and especially because we're in a hurricane belt, and so we want to be able to be sure that our buildings are safe and secure. BRC has been doing this for years, and so that expertise they bring as well to this opportunity. So thank you so much, Dario from TVET Council, Dario Walcott, and Kevin Thompson from BRC. Gentlemen, I wish you the best. I hope that real numbers of people to show up.
Thank you.
You want to, as young people say, burst the place, right? There's a lot to learn. Thank you so much indeed. All right, we're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're now 25 minutes to go to 7 o'clock. Would you believe it? 50 years already, the Barbados Diabetes and Hypertension Association of Barbados, the Barbados Hypertension, the Diabetes and Hypertension Association of Barbados. Is a mouthful, Tyrone? It's a real mouthful, but 50 years in service to our island. Again, we asked the question, where did the time go? This is Tyrone Lowe, by the way. He's the president of the Association of Barbados. And with him, he has Deirdre Wood, who is the immediate past president, am I right, of the Lions Club St. Michael. Welcome, both of you.
Good
50
morning.
years, Tyrone?
50 years already.
Already.
And I mean, just the other day we were celebrating 14 and 50 seems so far, and now here we are. 50 years an association supporting screening advocacy in Barbados.
So,
and we are grateful.
I mean, you've been a significant part of that, right? I'm not saying all of it.
Not all of it. Thank you, Pearson. I think around 2000 I became very aware of the association. And a couple of ladies were there. I got to work with them, and then I fell in love with the association itself. So I would say I probably have about 20, 25 years.
And that's excellent indeed.
That's indeed.
So then you've seen a lot that has moved and changed and developed as it has gone. And so talk to me about some of those changes and the impact of the messages of the Diabetes and Hypertension Association of Barbados.
Well, for sure, I think I've seen a lot of movement in the children. And that's where perhaps we want to focus this morning. Because at the time you get told the same messages: drink more water, eat less salt, be careful with your sugar, all that kind of thing. And then you realize then they were focused then on children, type 1. How do we get them to be feeling a bit empowered? How do they feel at school? And then we saw some things taking place with retina, a lot of focus on your eyes. We're seeing a lot of outreaches in the communities. And we're seeing a lot of corporations calling us because of their own health awareness. So some things are happening that make us feel as though we are bringing value to the health awareness landscape. Yeah.
But because of the demand on the association for support, meant that you also had to be able to boof up from your technical end the support that you can offer.
Yes.
Talk to me about how the relationship that the Barbados
The Diabetes and Hypertension.
The Diabetes and Hypertension Association of Barbados. What organizations really work alongside you so that you're able to provide the support that you're requested to offer?
The first thing that would perhaps come to mind would be the Diabetes Foundation. I mean, there are clinical, although we look after the members and give support to persons who have diabetes, yet in terms of research and what they do, perform to really enhance our work. We work along with other groups like ourselves. We work along with Heart and Stroke. We work along with the Lions is another one, because we find Lions to be very, very conscious of diabetes in particular. So we work along with them. The Barbados Coalition of Health Services. So there are a number of people that we work along with to ensure the cancer, that our messages are consistent and that we get people aware. And once one group person gets the message of health awareness over, you tend to see a kind of ripple effect among the others. So, and we have had a lot of response. People from corporate Barbados have been calling us. I would say within the last 5 to 10 years, there has been such a surge of sponsorship and persons trying to get into the health awareness matter and get Barbados, look, we got to do something about our health circumstances.
I think organizations now recognize, given their health and safety committees, that, the people matter.
Yes.
They're not just items that you have there that you're forced to do the work, but that the people matter. And so you mentioned the Lions, and so Lions, I know your activism in the community is without question. We see the yellow jackets everywhere. You show up, and you show up in a big way for a lot of things. And let's talk a little bit about what you see, Deidre, to be the importance of working alongside the Diabetes and Hypertension Association of Barbados so that you also support their message.
Diabetes is one of our 5 global causes. We have other causes, but that is one of the major causes that Lions International has really focused on for us to, to advocate. And we find that as times change, we have to partner with other non-governmental organizations that we can have a greater impact. And with this project that we are working on, we recognize that children are the future generation, and if we can get into the schools and into the minds of children to help shape and reshape when they get home, or when they are going to be the persons basically who are going to, fuel that fire to ensure that diabetes in the future is lessened down.
Children are fantastic carriers of message.
Oh,
I'm not saying they're storytellers. I'm saying they're carriers of message. And so that's why you're having this upcoming 50th anniversary quiz. It's a school's quiz. Who's coordinating? Is it yourself, Tyrone, or is it the Lions Club who taking lead in this one?
I think both of us. 2 years ago, we made an attempt to get involved in the quizzes. We didn't get the sort of traction that we needed. And then up comes the line and said, listen, we're ready for it. Let's get this thing going. And we said, thank you very much. And we're here. So this year, it's our 50th anniversary, but it's actually the second time that we're offering the quiz. And why not? If it's 50th anniversary, we got to make it happen.
Yes.
So yes, the Lions very crucial to what's happening here, giving support, meeting with us on a weekly basis to ensure all is well, going into the schools, calling people up personally, and ensuring that this event happens.
So this is a call to schools and students in classes 2 and 3.
Yes.
That's what we're appealing to. And so let's work through the mechanics of this here now. First of all, let me look at the deadline. What's your deadline to get entries in? People who are saying, I want to be a part of this.
September 26th is
next weekend.
Yes, next weekend is the deadline.
Because this is the 19th, 7 days from now is next Friday. So next Friday is your deadline to get your children in this quiz.
Yes.
So what do I have to do to meet that deadline?
The information was sent to the schools via the Ministry of Education. And by that dissemination, then the teachers and the parents would have to sit with the children, and I said the parents also, because the teachers can't do all the work. Have to sit with the children, go through the information. Last year we found that the parent interaction was very great. And the children then would go through the information. There's a booklet provided. And after that, they do an online quiz.
Okay.
From that online quiz, then we pull those who did significantly well, and then they have a face-to-face quiz. And then from that quiz, we then have a final, which would culminate then World Diabetes Day on November the 14th. Yes.
All right, let me see if I get it right. My deadline for submission of my school is next Friday.
Yes, next Friday.
Between now and next Friday, teachers are expected to work along with their children and with the parents as well to say, you know what, let's make sure we beef up the knowledge about what is diabetes, what is hypertension, and how we begin to activate against those kinds of things. Having determined who your top students are, so to speak, to represent your school, teachers listen very carefully. Then you make your application. You have until next week Friday to register. And how can they register?
Let me just clarify that it is for classes 2 and 3. Yes. So we wouldn't want the entire school. For example, we're trying to avoid common interest persons because they're already heavily engrossed in their own studies. So class 2 and 3, perhaps around 8, 9 ages, and the teachers would kind of complete a form to let us know who they are submitting. Once that is done, they go online through a link that we provide, and those children will answer the 40 questions or so.
What I want to know is, having determined my classes 2 and 3 students,
yes,
I need to let you know.
Yes.
How do I let you know?
There is a form that you could complete.
That the schools already have?
Yes.
And the schools will return that form to us by next week Friday?
Yes, our telephone call, give us, make it easy, and
but get it in.
I think all now we will be expecting that by next Friday, yes, because the children need to have this exam done by next Friday.
Oh, okay.
By next Friday, the 26th. So all now teachers should be telling us, okay, I've got 5, my entire class is coming, here are the names, and then they'll go online by next Friday. Yeah.
And complete that online quiz.
Yes.
And then after that, you know now who's going forward to the face-to-face in-person activity.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. And then we're trying to get this all done by November.
Yes.
And this is open to all schools.
All primary, private and government secondary schools.
Whether government or
schools.
private schools, between in classes 2 and 3.
That's correct.
And those are the students we're looking forward to. What are they being tested on, just out of curiosity?
It's primarily diabetes. We've got material that, again, is given some sources for them to start to study. And some of this material is taken from the International Diabetes Federation. We will go pick some easy kids stuff for them to look at. And then once they get past the initial stage, then we include that with a little bit more for the semifinals. And then for the finals, we give a little bit more. So that by the time they finish, they're almost experts.
They definitely are, because last year, some of the questions that were asked, when the children answered, some adults in the audience didn't even know the answers. So there are things like, what do you expect if you have a hypoglycemic activity happening? What are the signs and the symptoms? Things that people, who's that? And children up there answering.
And that's the whole purpose of all of this. Is engagement, is knowledge, it is enhancement, it is empowerment.
That's correct.
And if the children know, the children can see how the adults are responding. And if the adults know, the adults are prepared to handle their children who are also being met with hypertension and diabetes.
Exactly.
And so that's is cyclical in that kind of way. And so all of this happens, but they're playing for some prizes. You don't just do this. Yes, the knowledge is the biggest prize. I always believe in that. The knowledge is empowerment, and no one can take that from you. But they're playing for some prizes.
And there are several. The winning child, a person who emerged as the winner, because we'll have the finalists, as was said on November 14th. That child gets a replica of the winning trophy that to keep. And then the second and third also get trophies. There's money involved. The school with the highest submissions of applicants, they get some cash funds.
Nice.
And the school with the winning child gets money as well. And then so their computers, their laptops, that those winners get, and then every participant gets the certificate. Even if you didn't get past the preliminary round, you still get a certificate of participation, and then you get one of excellence, and then you get one for achievement. So
significant
it's
prizes.
It's important.
So parent watching and listening, you're saying, but wait, how come I didn't know about this? Contact your school. Contact your school, because your child in class 2 or 3. You take the effort now, contact your school and say, listen, talk to me, teach about this, because I need my child to be a part of this. I need my child to know. And so all now teachers are no doubt having that engagement with their students about what is hypertension, what is diabetes, all of those terms, hypoglycemic and everything else, as they prepare for this second edition of the quiz. And so we want to encourage you to support the children, parents, support the children, teachers, get your nominations in, because they have to do an online test by next week Friday, before next week Friday. And so we want you to really get behind them, to encourage them, but also to engage in conversation around the subjects so that they're comfortable and competent and confident to be able to do so. And the most outstanding child, the most outstanding school, the school with the most numbers, all of those things you get prizes for. But the knowledge no one can take out of your head. And so we want to encourage you to let your child be a part of this. Classes 2 and 3, those are the student cohorts that we're looking for. So register as quickly as possible, and let's see how this all happens by November 14th as we celebrate the winners then. Thank you so much, Tyrone.
You are most welcome.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you too.
Tyrone Lowe, the president of the Diabetes and Hypertension Association of Barbados, got it right at the end.
You do.
And Deidre Wood, who is immediate past president of the Lions Club of Barbados, Lions Club St. Michael.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us as well, and
Thank
all
you for
the
having
best.
us.
You're welcome.
We appreciate
Can't
it.
wait to see the outcome. Winners, we love to have our Morning Barbados, so bring the winners to
We'll
us.
get them.
That's a promise. That's a promise. All right. We're taking a break here, folks. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
7 to 7 it is right now on Morning Barbados as we turn our attention to a topic that I think we all should engage in, which is taking an understanding of the Barbados population policy. I know it sounds like, oh my word, what about Pearson now? And that's all right. We have people who can help us understand as we navigate our way through what it is. But we do remember the conversation started by the Prime Minister that says, our population is declining. We're not having enough births, and we're not having enough people in Barbados who are of working age to prop up the NISSS and all of those kinds of conversations. That is a part of that. And so we want to be able to take a deeper look into it so that you get a greater understanding of your role, how it impacts you, and how it impacts all of us as a community together. And so we're happy to be joined this morning by Waynell Allen-Jones, who is the Deputy Chair of the National Population Commission, and with her is a face that we all know for years, Jane Gibbons, the Liaison Officer with the UNFPA, the Sub-Regional Office for the Caribbean, Barbados, and the OECS. Welcome, ladies. Good to see you again, Jane.
Likewise,
You're sticking, looking as young, as beautiful as ever.
She is. Likewise again.
Bless your eyesight. Bless your eyesight. Let's look at population and get a greater understanding of this. Let's start with you, Waynell. When you guys set about on this study, so we take a closer look at what's happening in Barbados, because the reality is our population is declining as we hear.
Absolutely.
But to the naked eye of Barbadians, we don't see that. So let's talk a little bit about how you know now that our population is declining.
So this work started back in 2019 or so, 2020 really, just before COVID. And what we realized as a country was that, as you said, the population is in decline, but we needed to be able to measure that. So one of the first things that we did, even before we started talking about the population policy, is that we did a population situation analysis. And that gave us some information, and it said to us what the intent of that was: if we do nothing about the population trends that we are seeing, what will happen? And so we realized that the population will decline. And from that decline flows some other things, which means, you know, basically how will we continue to support ourselves and the people in Barbados and the things that we have grown to love, you know and love as Barbadians. Because with population decline, it means things fall like taxation and different things. So from that situation analysis, then we designed this policy. And the policy then went on to look at, well, here we are. What can we do? Because we do need to look at measures to increase the population, and not only the increase the population, but the policy also looked at things around that. So it's not just about the numbers. And I think a lot of people feel it's just about the numbers, but it's not just all about the numbers. It's about how do we make that sustainable? How do we really create a future for Barbadians? And how do we manage around that things like our environment? We have climate change that we all know about. How do we take all of that into account when we talk about population and an increase in population? Because an increase in population also has implications.
Indeed so. So let's look at it from the declining and get a greater understanding of this. When we have fewer people, people think, oh, gracious, good. We have fewer cars on the road. We have less reliance on people crowding our social services. And that's a good thing. That's what they think. But you don't quite, in your analysis, quite see it that way.
Well, no. And if we even start where you just started with the social services, how do we then continue to support that security net for Barbadians? We have less people, less contributions. And one of the major things within the population study is in terms of the elderly care, we are an aging population. How do we continue to support them? So there are some implications around it. So it's not just, oh, well, you know, we have less people. That's a really good thing. Yeah, there are benefits to less people. But there are also some real detriments to that.
But nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody wants to hear that. It's not fun, but it is the reality that we found when we did the studies.
From where you sit, Jane, in that global organization, is this a trend across the Caribbean generally?
Yes, absolutely, Pearson. Across the Caribbean, we are having declining fertility rates. It's a trend that is global, actually. We find in Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, we have, for example, we have below replacement level fertility rates for Barbados. The figure has been, I've seen between 1.65 and 1.70, and replacement level is 2.1. So it is consistent with what we're seeing across the Caribbean.
So it's not a question of management. If it is your reality, how do we manage this change in our reality?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of managing that change, one of the entry points that UNFPA comes from is demographic diversity. So as Rianel said, it's not just about the population numbers. We will have population change. Populations are declining, fertility rates are declining. But what do we do to manage that change in a way that is evidence-based and all driven by data, as well as respecting the human rights of individuals? So for demographic diversity, we need to ensure that we have the correct skills, the correct policies. Governments are equipped, societies are equipped to manage the change. So population change should not be seen in an alarmist way, but a way, what do we do to manage the current size and also plan for future generations?
There's a thought that says nature abhors a vacuum. So don't worry about it, it will fill itself in somehow. And we sit back and wait for that filling in. And you're saying that's a danger point, if we sit and simply wait for it.
Yeah, we don't simply sit and wait. Again, we'll now touch on some of the issues we're dealing with. Elderly, youth. We don't just sit and wait, but we plan how do we address issues related to the elderly, the youth population. We need to hear what the youth are saying. So population decline, why is it that the population is declining? Why are people not having children? We're about to launch the State of World Population Report next week here in Barbados. And part of that report, there was a study done globally where what was found is that the economy is one of the biggest issues preventing people from having children. All of these are things we need to plan for in terms of that vacuum you mentioned, Pearson.
This is a lot more serious than we probably gave some real thought to. Well, I want to invite you ladies to stay right there with me because I need to take a break for the news, and we shall continue this very serious discussion indeed. All right?
Thank you.
All right, good. We'll take a break and we'll come right back with the news in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
A minute after 7, let's take a look at the news now. Head of the Private Sector Association is raising concern that too many households have yet to feel the economic relief despite financial reports showing Barbados' economy is on an upward trajectory. Outgoing chairman of the Barbados Private Sector Association, Dr. Tricia Tannis, says too many families are still stretched. She says given global headwinds coming in the near future, it is important that Barbados presses ahead to develop a framework to ensure economic gains are felt across all households. Dr. Tannis says chief among those are the International Maritime Organization's Net Zero Framework. She made those comments while delivering remarks at the opening ceremony of the Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations Barbados Midterm Delegates Conference.
This initiative, which is designed to make global shipping greener, is projected to increase freight costs in our region yet again. Although the International Monetary Fund estimates that global shipping rates already account for 15% of the value of imported goods. This is before the imposition of the initiatives being advanced by the International Maritime Association. Every increase eventually shows up on our supermarket shelves, in our hardware stores, and even in the price of services. This reality underscores the urgent need to strengthen local production, because the more we can produce here at home, hopefully the less vulnerable we are to price shocks from abroad.
She says Barbados is showing remarkable experience according to the economic fundamentals, with the economy recording 15 consecutive quarters of growth, real domestic product expanding by nearly 4% in 2024, international reserves at an all-time high, inflation remaining below world averages, and unemployment steadily declining. Dr. Tanis says while these are significant achievements, it must be acknowledged that those numbers do not always tell the true or full story.
The truth is that growth is real, but it's not yet inclusive. In this vein, I challenge this conference to move beyond analysis and to prove and provide bold, practical solutions. The future of Barbados will not be decided by economic statistics alone, but instead by how we decide how well we answer some big questions. How can businesses and households work hand in hand to shield our people from external shocks? How do we make local production stronger and more competitive so that our food, our construction, and our services are less vulnerable to international vulnerabilities?
Government is seeking to engage in dialogue with non-governmental and civil society organizations about moving the country forward amid an uncertain global and social environment. Minister of Labour, Social Security and the Third Sector Colin Jordan says these organizations will be joining other stakeholders to engage in key matters. He made the announcement while addressing the opening of the C2SAB's Midterm Delegates Conference with a shared vision for a stronger tomorrow through change and increased dialogue theme. Anesta Henry reports.
Minister Jordan says government has recently shared with the social partnership the recognition that moving the country forward in such an unpredictable global, economic, political, social, cultural environment requires even more people at the round the table. He says hence the reason for the proposal to include members of the 2019 established Social Justice Committee with the traditional tripartite social partners to discuss these major matters.
Is something that we believe is necessary, important, particularly at this juncture.
Minister Jordan says government is pleased with C2SAB's involvement in key engagements to strengthen the labor sector. He says the Congress recently contributed to the crafting and drafting what will become Protocol 7.
We know that C2SAB was also very heavily involved in the crafting of the missions, and those missions give us the guiding framework as to how we develop our country. I sometimes tease, but I'm always serious when I speak to the General Secretary of C2SAB about the significant input that C2SAB, through his representation, made in all of the meetings.
Addressing the conference, C2SAB's President Ryan Phillips said an issue to be addressed with clarity and resolve is the freedom of movement within the Caribbean. Phillips says while the region benefits from shared human capital and collective growth, the movement of migrant workers must be accompanied by clear integration policies, proper labor documentation, and enforcement of social protections.
Migrant workers must not be seen as threats, nor should local workers be left to feel abandoned. C2SAB calls for a regional protocol on migrant labor welfare with enforceable standards to prevent wage suppression and workplace exploitation.
And while advising CITUSAB on the way forward, management consultant Dr. Hensley Sobers says the Congress must not appear to be an organ of government or enter into unholy alliance with any political party for the joint management of the country's affairs.
Such relationships will compromise and ultimately stifle the independence of the trade union movement. As your theme suggests, change must happen.
During the conference, outgoing chairman of the Barbados Private Sector Association, Tricia Tanis, was presented with a CITUSAB Recognition Award, while former General Secretary of the Barbados Union of Teachers, Herbert Gittins, received the Service Award. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Diversification is key to this country going forward, and constituents in St. James tabled a number of ideas that can and will diversify Barbados at Wednesday's Ideas Forum. A number of members of Parliament were on hand to share some of those initiatives planned for the country going forward. Rachel Agard has that story.
Barbados is a country that is well placed to be a major proponent of cultural development through education. Minister of Educational Transformation and Member of Parliament for St. James North, Chad Blackman, says part of what they are seeking to do in the ministry is to have students in a number of schools produce music. And he stresses that schools must be able to produce a national festival among students at the beginning of the academic year going forward, utilizing the knowledge learned at school.
For example, if you think of Red Boys, who have their studio, a Deepu, young people should be able to learn those things whilst they're at school. But what does that do? It allows for them to be able to have the tangible real life skills of music and music production and sound engineering even before they leave these institutions, so that by the time they enter the market for business and work, they already have the work experience.
Minister of Training and Tertiary Education and Member of Parliament for St. James South, Sandra Husband, says part of the thrust for diversification is to identify different classes and have exchanges with students. And she says that her ministry intends to use the services of tertiary level students to look at material from the historical Banyan archives to convert for use in schools.
What it would take is to get some of these students at UE to sit down and pull out some of this information, and then they sit with a curriculum development specialist now to convert these into materials that we can use in our schools. And this is some of the work that we have to start doing. Even the program My Community with Sherwood McCaskey, we need students to go into the highways and byways and get those stories, and then we take them and convert them into products that can help our children to develop the values and the behaviors that we want them to have.
And Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and Member of Parliament for St. James Central, Carrie Simmons, says young people now have to understand their story and their history to tell it. He says while he is a student of history at the university level, it was not until traveling to Africa that he fully came to understand the story of some of our ancestors. And while Minister Simmons says such stories will never be told throughout the region, he stresses that the script need not be written only by those who colonized us, but equally by those who experienced it.
And I think that Solomon, that cultural shift in perspective so that we can have a more holistic understanding, for me, is critically important because I want us to understand community. We now live in a time when the experiences that this region went through and the experiences that our neighbors in the north went through are being erased from the history books deliberately in places like North America.
The next Ideas Forum will be held in the parish of Christchurch in October. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Thanks, Rachel. That's news until now. We'll have more news coming up at 12 noon right here on CBC TV8. Morning Barbados is back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
13 and a half after 7 o'clock. I'm sitting here now with Waynell Aline Jones, who is the Deputy Chair of the National Population Commission, and Jane Gibbons, who is the Liaison Officer in the UNFPA Sub-Regional Office. And we're looking at Barbados' national population policy and how, following a study done, how do we mine that information to make a far more informed society and perhaps begin to reorder society in a way that is sustainable. And so that's what we're talking about. We talked about some of the dreaded things, you know, what this declining population would mean and how it can impact on all of us. Let's talk a little bit. You said there were some negatives and some positives. So let's hear some of those positives that came out of that analysis you would have done on the population.
So when we looked at the population decline and we looked at, well, what it means to increase the population. And increasing the population talks about a sustainability of the life that we know as Barbadians. So how do we maintain that? And that is really looking at the increase in population. So we increase the population, we widen that tax base, we widen what this economy is really built on, what it stands on. And then obviously, Pearson, as you know, that has a trickle-down effect. So we make sure that the standard of living that we have become accustomed to is maintained. One of the other things that we looked at in the policy was, you know, Barbados, we talk a lot about climate change, we talk a lot about the environment, and that has been included in this policy, ensuring that the environment, that we're looking at the sustainability of the environment. So it's not just about the demographics, but we've taken a really holistic look. We've looked at our young people, social care. So those aspects have gone into it. How do we ensure that our young people can take care of themselves in the future? Because this policy really aims at making sure that we can secure a future for Barbadians. So those young people who are not in employment, there's a term we use, NEET. They're not in education, employment, or training. How do we get them in? How do we build out systems that can encourage them and provide space for them within this economy, within this country? And it's not just an economy, but a society. So all of that is captured in the policy. So it picks up on those themes. How do we ensure sustainability, not only in our numbers, but in terms of social care, the environment? That's all captured in this policy analysis.
And so, Jane, from the regional level, because I have to tap into this because I'm trying to understand what are some of the challenges globally across the region that we are met with, and how are some of the responses, how different are they from some of the situations that Waynell would have highlighted?
Well, Pearson, the challenges across the region are quite similar, yes, quite similar to Barbados. As you mentioned, declining fertility, declining birth rates, sometimes limited access to sexual and reproductive health services, which is a focal area for UNFPA. So the issues are consistent. The governments across the region are paying keen attention to population and demographic issues. I know we're focusing on Barbados, but just to mention, in addition to our support to Barbados in developing a population policy, similar work is ongoing with Grenada, for example, where they're looking at Barbados's example as a model for developing their population policy. Focusing, again, drawing on what Waynell said, on not just the numbers, but access to healthcare, access to jobs, the aging society, what is being done for those older people, the marginalized groups, people with disabilities and others. So across the region, the trend is quite similar. The response is quite similar. And again, the focus is not just on the numbers, but addressing the wider societal, economic, and cultural issues with respect to the population.
Migration is one of those approaches that Barbados is considering to help to beef up, and migration in specific areas as well, because we do want the quality worker who adds to the contribution overall. From the regional point of view, is this something that's encouraged? Because when you come from here, you deplete here.
Okay, well, I'll answer it this way, Pearson. I know that Barbados is looking at developing a managed migration policy as part of the population policy follow-up implementation phase now. And I'm not sure if I'm the best person to say if it's a positive or negative thing, but certainly managed migration can assist in filling some of those gaps with the labor force, gaps with respect to the brain drain with a number of our young skilled workers moving on to other jurisdictions. It needs to be managed carefully, and we do have some UN agencies, for instance, the International Organization of Migration, that is providing support in that area in the Caribbean.
Reynald, is that one of the responses that you're excited about?
I'm excited. Pearson.
Yes.
It is one of the responses certainly that has been suggested within the policy, and I like that you use the term managed migration, because it means that you take a strategic and planned approach to migration as an answer to our population decline. And certainly within the next week, Jane would have alluded to it, we are going to be launching the intersectoral implementation group for this policy, and that is one of the things that this group is tasked with doing, which is developing that managed migration plan. So what does that mean? Because obviously we want to look at how we bring people into Barbados, the skills that we need. So that is really going to develop that roadmap. So it is not just managed migration that we are looking at, but Jane has spoken a lot about the fertility, the approach to fertility, which is admittedly a longer term answer. And it's not just about telling people, oh, you should have more children, but really creating that favorable environment if you so choose. So how does the country support you should you choose to then tap into that fertility and then have children? So those are some of the approaches that we're looking at that have been addressed within the policy.
We're seeing, given societal challenges, that there's a range of people, young people, mid-aged people, who are losing their life due to crime. Crime is a concern, no doubt, everywhere in the region. And so that population decline also happens from that particular activity. In terms of reordering a society so that your population demographics grow and are meaningful contributors to the success of that community, how much of attention is paid to the other challenges, societal challenges, so that you're able to maintain your numbers and grow?
Well, specifically, we talk about crime and we talk a lot about young people and not having opportunities. And that's why the policy really does also focus on how do we ensure that there's opportunity for our young people, and recognizing that we have quite some large numbers who are not in, as I said, education and employment and training. And one of the things that came out in the policy is the need for educational reform. And that is a hot topic these days. But that really drives the opportunities that we can create for our young people to go into other spaces, that move away from the system that we have that works for some but not for all. But how do we develop pathways for everyone? And so then that means that we move them away from, as you said, the crime, and we move them into being functioning, more functioning members of the society, and we address that in that way.
For a lot of people, Jane, this feels as if, have we ever been through this before? I don't ever remember in my lifetime having discussions of this nature. From where you sit, can you see data that suggests that perhaps this is just another cycle in that challenge of managing population?
Thanks, Pearson. I wouldn't say that it's new. I mean, you mentioned earlier there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, in terms of the data, we see that, and I'm going on the point of the fertility now, if I may go there. 1 in 5 individuals who doesn't have children believe that if conditions were favorable, they would want to have children. They would want to have a child. If the financial capital was there, if childcare was there, if the policies were there for males, for instance, to be able to provide for care. And I know in Barbados we recently had the approval of the yes, for the males to be able to have 3 weeks to look after their offspring. So the data shows that yes, we do need to give some attention.
Mm-hmm. And so this is why this is so very important. I mean, we've only barely touched the surface of all of this. They're telling me to wrap. But how can we begin to broaden the discussion about this so that more and more people are informed and they themselves can have their own mini discussions so they can lend to the greater good? What do you see happening right now?
So even before we put this policy out, we had some broader conversations. The policy certainly was developed not only in conjunction with sector stakeholders, but we did do some consultations broadly with the public. Next week, we are having the launch of that group. It's not a session that's open to the public, but coming out of that, there is going to be a lot more discussion. That group really will focus on putting some priority areas out there. Where do we start? Because we have to begin, right? We've done the work and we're looking now at implementation. But coming out of that, you will certainly see a lot of opportunity for discussion on the policy, open to hearing what Barbadians think how do we go forward, how do we implement. So there will be that opportunity coming, so just listen out for what is to come.
And from where you sit, Jane?
And I agree. What we need to do is to listen. What are the needs with respect to the population policy? What are the systems that we need to put in place or amplify to address those issues and ensure that human rights and dignity are cross-cutting across the solutions?
Two interesting young women sitting with me this morning on a very interesting subject indeed. And so it's a discussion to be continued. I'm so happy to have had the opportunity to sit with Waynell Alling-Jones, Deputy Chair of the Barbados Population Commission, and DeJane Gibbons, Liaison Officer in the UNFPA Sub-Regional Office. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you
to be continued.
To be continued.
Good, good. All right, thank you.
Thanks,
We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Yeah. Right, we turn our attention to what's happening in St. James, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, the month of September is in. We're still in the month of September, and we're so encouraged to continue to gather in St. James under the theme cricket. It is so good to sit again across with a colleague of mine, Colin Bowen. Colin, good morning to you.
A very good morning to you too, Pearson.
Exactly. Thank you, my brother. Good to have you indeed. And you're a member of the organizing committee. Cricket is the theme for the month of September in St. James, and there's so much about cricket that St. James can talk about. You yourself, a man who has been in cricket for Thy Kingdom Come. Okay. You know, let's talk a little bit about what you think is so important about cricket and about St. James and cricket.
Well, cricket, as we know it, is the sport which has really put Barbados on the map. Mm-hmm. We have so many great cricketers coming out from Barbados. We going back to the 3Ws, to Gary Sobers, Desmond Haynes, Gordon Greenwich. You know, the list goes on. The list goes on. We were given the task of having cricket as the St. James team. And I believe that it might have had some origins in the fact that so many of our national players and West Indian players and so forth came from St. James, especially in the Holders Hill area. So I believe that is the genesis of why it was connected to the St. James.
And it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. I know, was it yesterday you had the webinar? Am I getting my dates wrong? Yeah, right.
Yes.
You're focusing on the impact on the youth.
Yes.
And you're continuing those kinds of activations right now, because I know coming up, particularly today, this evening, you have something called Wickets and Wonders.
Well, actually, that started last night. We played the first match at Sand Hill,
right,
where the folks from the north, the guys from the north, played the guys from the south.
Of St. James.
Of St. James,
right.
Yes, of St. James. It started very, very well. St. James, the guys from St. James North were eventual winners of that match, and that continues tonight.
Right.
Where we're going to the Desmond Haynes field in Holders Hill, where the South guys are going to play the guys from the central parts of St. James.
And this is a competition. Is we're looking for an ultimate winner?
Yes, this is a competition between the three sectors.
The three constituencies.
Yeah.
And so St. James North has won.
Yes.
South will now play Central. And out of that we get a winner.
Yeah.
And then ultimately we have a final between North and someone?
Not as yet, because Central still has to play South.
Okay.
And that's going to happen next Thursday.
Right.
At the Good Shepherd playing field.
Okay.
Right. Then the final is going to be on the 26th, the Friday night, of the two top teams.
Right. Cricket galore, boy. Cricket galore indeed. And this is great. I love the fact that you're able to play constituency against constituency. And that's the breadth of St. James. You have the ability to do so. But cricket is literally in the lifeblood of the people of St. James. So naturally you have teams who can come out and do so. And so it's a T20 competition.
Yes.
And we want the whole community of Barbados to come out to really show up. And so the match tonight is at Desmond Haynes Pavilion.
Yes, in
Holders Hill.
Yeah.
And it starts at what time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Yes.
All right. 7 this evening. Be in the space to keep beer noise in support of it. So tonight it's going to be Central versus South?
South versus Central, yeah.
All right, South versus Central, beginning at 7 this evening at the Desmond Haynes Pavilion. And then there's Beyond Boundaries Blind Cricket. I think this is such a fantastic initiative.
Yes, as I don't know if it is widely known, but blind cricket is played in Barbados. Barbados has been one of the pioneers in the Caribbean of playing blind cricket. That's where people who are totally blind, sighted, and not so sighted come out and try to enjoy the game of cricket. We're going to have that game at the Desmond Haynes Pavilion again in Holders Hill on Saturday, starting at 1 o'clock.
Right.
The blind folks are going to pit themselves against some sighted people.
Nice.
So, we will want everyone to come out and see how this game is played.
How would the blind cricketers win? That's what you're asking yourself, right?
But the rules of the game are structured that they can, be sort of equal.
Yes.
Because the sighted players will have their runs counted as normal.
Okay.
While the blind cricketers, their runs are multiplied.
Okay.
Say, for instance, if it's a totally blind person and they hit a 6, it becomes 12.
I got you.
Right. Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm so glad. But this is going to be quite a game indeed. Beginning at 1 tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock tomorrow, Saturday, at the Desmond Haynes Pavilion. That's again in Holders Hill. Don't miss it. And we want all of you really to fill the space. It is going to be quite a spectacle. the blind versus the sighted. This is going to be good, beyond the boundaries. And so let's see who gets some sixes, who gets some fours, who get catches, who get bowl-out wickets. The stumps dislodged by a blind cricketer. This is really going to be fantastic indeed. But it's for the very first time, perhaps, in Barbados, where the sighted plays against the blind. This is happening at Holders Hill tomorrow from 1. And certainly we want you to be a part of it. Someone is asking whether this is going to be streamed or not. This game, you have to turn up.
Yes, you need to turn up and actually see, what is going on.
It's best to be there.
Yes.
It's best to be there, to be a part of the environment. It's best to be there to be a part of the energy. And then there's All About Cricket, which is a conversation with the legends. This is coming up on the 21st.
Yes.
That would make it Sunday now.
Yes, Sunday. We're going to show the film
Fire in
Babylon.
Right,
yes,
right.
Fire in Babylon. And then we will have a conversation, I think the Most Honorable Desmond Haynes, who was part of that era and so forth, and fellow Wallace will take part in that conversation, where the public and large who are there will be able to, field questions to them and so forth, and hear their experiences and so forth that would have happened during that period of time.
I'm telling you, boy, Fire in Babylon was Fire in Babylon. And so this is a film you need to watch, but then you get a chance to engage with the legends right there. This also happens in the Desmond Haynes Pavilion, the sports complex there. And we want to encourage all of you from 7 o'clock in the evening, watch the film. And it's better watching the film as a group of people who are interested,
yes,
because you hear the other side talk and then the conversation flows therefrom. And so Fire in Babylon in the complex there in the Holders Hill, the Desmond Haynes Sports Complex, is where we will go to watch the film and then have a discussion. The most excellent Desmond Haynes will be there. He will be happy to share his experience, to talk to you a little bit more about cricket, the spirit of the game, and how that spirit just was not just revved up and riled up, but we brought the fire. And so you want to be able to learn a lot from it. Allow the children to come. Allow the young men and women to come, because there's women cricket as well. And so we want to encourage all of you to show up. So this evening, beginning at 7, we'll get to see further the T20 game. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, also at Desmond Haynes Complex, we'll see the blind cricket beyond the boundaries. That's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, blind versus the sighted. And then on Sunday, we're continuing our conversations with the legends and cricket, looking at the Fire in Babylon film, and then we're having conversation with the legends as well, all about cricket and the story of cricket, the message of cricket, the empowerment of cricket, the way cricket has transformed communities and lives. And this is all part of what St. James is doing, but it's free to all of us to come and be a part of it indeed. All of us, let's gather, let's show up, let's support our brothers and sisters in St. James as we gather in St. James. And so, is there any marble cricket I can still expect between now and the end of the month?
Yes, at all of the pop-ups, karaoke's and so forth, marble cricket is displayed at all of those. We going back to the blind cricket match. We are encouraging. I'm trying to get some more females to join the team.
Right.
So, come out and join the team, because the blind cricket is actually played unisex.
Yes.
It's not a male game.
Yeah.
It's a game for all.
So ladies, come, join the team, have some fun. Have some fun. You'll find yourself perhaps on the Barbados women's team. I'm just teasing. But have some fun in playing cricket indeed. And these are just a few of the initiatives. There's so much more on the calendar of events for St. James, and we don't have the time to tell you about it. But for sure, we'll have them back as we talk up even more to come. There's a beach cleanup on Saturday as well, on the 21st, on Sunday, the 21st at Western Beach. And then you have the tree planting on the 22nd, the Village Builders Initiative at Queen's College on the 22nd. Look at your screen, you'll see them all there. And there's a whole host still to come.
Yeah, we are also having our marquee event on the 27th, which is a health and so expo and with a concert,
right,
and also St. James on the beach. on the water, which is on the 27th.
Also on the 27th. There's a lot happening. I know we got some time we can talk about another time.
Yes.
So, but Colin, thank you so much for sharing with me. And again, as always, folks, there's a lot happening in cricket and in cricket conversation in St. James this weekend alone. And it starts this evening. There's another activity tomorrow, Saturday, and on Sunday. So show up and be a part. Thank you, Colin.
Thank you very much for having me.
Colin Bowen, a member of the Parish Organising Committee in St. James for Regathering. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
19 to 8 o'clock, 70 years ago, 70 years ago, Barbados was struck by Hurricane Jeanette. And I know for a lot of you, you're thinking, I wasn't alive, why do I care? And so we want to share with you why you should care, because there's still some people who were alive at that time. The Reverend Badilar is with me now. He is the author, he's an activist, he has so many memories that flow from because he was a part of that tragic moment for Barbados. And Valerie Suzette Jean-Marie, who is for the Society for the Resettlement of Caribbean Nationals, is also with us. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning to you, Barbados. Good morning to Barbados.
Good to have you. I know you're having a community chat, a community gathering of people to continue to talk about it and the lessons learned therefrom. When is it, Reverend Larry?
It's on Sunday, the 21st.
This Sunday?
This Sunday at Independence Square.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we want folks to come to Independence Square Sunday from what time?
From 3 o'clock until 6 o'clock.
Right. And what's happening when we're there?
It is not a lecture. What we asking people to come who's prepared to share their experience. You see, every person living in Barbados, of Barbados heritage, today has been affected because of Hurricane Jeanette. Grandmother, grandchild, everybody, and in particular, those who live abroad. So the gathering will also be streamed live internationally.
All right, so whether you've been through it or whether you are a relative of someone who has gone through it, show up. Independence Square this Sunday from 3. Sunday from 3. Sunday from 3 in the afternoon. It's not a lecture. It's a moment to gather and to share the memories and share how we've all been affected by this. Because a part of that affecting of people was that people left the island.
That's right. Barbados was transformed. What is also important, I want people to appreciate. This year is also the year of the awakening. The Democratic Labour Party was formed in 1955. The Barbados Transport Board was formed in 1955. So you see, everyone is affected because of what happened in 1955. Janet just put it together and transformed Barbados by number of people leaving the Caribbean. And all we're talking about now is the regathering. Yes, bringing back people to talk about what their experiences were.
Valerie Suzette, you are a part of this Society for the Resettlement of Caribbean Nationals.
I am indeed.
Talk to me a little bit about what your work is and what is the picture that you see.
Okay, I understand your question, but I'd like to say first that I'm actually a product of that migration. I'm a product of the people that would have been affected by Hurricane Janet and would have actually travelled not just to the UK but to America, to Canada, all over, but specifically here, the United Kingdom.
You are a descendant of, or you are one of those who did?
I am a descendant of.
Okay.
I would have been born in London in 1965. And my father, Ishmael Steele, would have been one of the people that would have been encouraged or influenced to leave Barbados due to the Hurricane
What
Janet.
stories did he share with you about that experience?
My dad shares many stories with me, and that's maybe one day I'll actually come and sit back and talk to you about the wealth of information that my father gave me and what has happened since. However, as it stands right now, I recognize I'm a product and that there are others like myself who are products of the Hurricane Janet, and we were born outside of Barbados because of Hurricane Janet, and a lot of our parents actually returned and tried to resettle into Barbados. There's an abundance, a rich history of what transpired between 1955 and 1925.
Because we took our values, we took our value systems, but we didn't forget where we were from. And so we've resettled, but you were one who was born in the UK, you stayed in the UK, but you're back.
I'm back.
And you felt
indeed.
compelled to come back. And that's what this gathering is about.
Well, I felt to come back for many reasons, but one of the things that I've done since I've come back is I've actually set up a private school for our children to educate them on this migration, educate them on the transitions. That's part of the purpose of the school. And some of the children will actually be singing at the gathering
on Sunday.
We're organising, because I'm a musician myself, and again we will talk about that on another day. But we're encouraging the children to sing the national anthem, and also at a later point at another gathering on the 12th of October. 2025 to actually, I'm as a musician, I'm helping them to learn an African folk song, and they're very excited to sing that African folk song. They won't be doing it on Sunday, so we have to come on Sunday, hear the children sing the national anthem, and then come again on the 12th of October 2025 to hear them perform their
So there's a lot happening on Sunday, folks. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, we're gathering in Independence Square for this remembering of Janet's 70 years. Whether you were actually physically impacted or not, or you are a descendant of someone who was impacted because they either migrated or they've stayed and they've continued to transform our community as a result of that experience. We want to gather together to tell stories, to share in the memories, and to be able to gather to see what difference we can make. This is the year of the awakening as well. And so we want to be able to move forward as a society, but we need to understand our past and appreciate our past. And so this activity on Sunday allows us to be able to do so. Children will be there. It will be streamed. So for those of you in the diaspora who are saying, but hold on, my grandfather told me, yes, you can watch it too, and you can share in the stories, and you can share your story. All of that is what this is all about, a collective of people from one experience that has changed the lives of Barbadians. And so, but Larry, I'll give you 1 minute to wrap up quickly because I've really got to go.
Yeah, just wrapping up is, again, it is not a lecture. We're asking people, for instance, we just had a pageant by the National Assistant Board. You know, I would like those 12 person to come, yes, and share, because all of them was over 70 years old, right? And share how proud they are of, at all ages,
where they
making
are
look
now.
That's
then.
right. So that's what it's about. Gathering. It's a gathering for people to come and share and talk. We need to be talking to each other about our experience and passing it on to the children, because I do not want any going forward to hear about our kids. We do not have kids, we have children. And that's the point.
Finally say, very, very quickly, and part of the reason also why I'm part of this is because obviously, you know, our elder here is getting of age, and he needed someone to take the banner the baton and to continue.
Accepted to do so.
I have indeed.
The conversation
Okay.
has to continue.
It does.
I want to
Okay.
thank you so very much,
Thank you.
both of you, the Reverend Buddy Larry and Valerie Suzette Jean-Marie.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning. The folks, the activity is on Sunday at 3 in Independence Square. We're back in a moment.
Okay.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We have 12 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock right now. I'm turning my attention and shining the spotlight on yet another unsung hero. Thanks to CIBC, she has now been unearthed. And so we are so excited today to share with you. She was a runner-up, but it doesn't matter to me. She is still as powerful and as impactful as when I first met her all those years ago, and I wouldn't date myself right now. Rosanna Tudor of the Barbados Council for the Disabled, Operations Manager there. Rosanna, good morning to you.
Good morning, Barbados, and good morning, Pearson.
I'm so thrilled to celebrate you today for the great work that you have done for over 30 years in your activism with those who are disabled in our community. You've brought them to the fore thanks to all of the work you've done. I can list a whole host of different things you've done. I shall do so in a moment. But you have with you Gailey Mohammed.
Yes,
you're the
please.
finance manager with the Barbados Council for the Disabled as well. But you're part of the
Yes,
spirit
please.
of what keeps Rosanna going, right?
Yes, please.
Rosanna, what got you involved, first of all? Because you could have done something else.
You know, first I must say I'm honored to have been recognized for the CIBC Unsung Hero. I don't see it as an award. I see it as a recognition for the work that we have been doing at the Barbados Council for Disabled to include persons with disabilities. Our success over the years, to me, is based a lot on passion. I want to share that it's not work. And if you're working, you have to have that passion, especially in an area where we are changing attitudes, you know, addressing injustices. We don't do it alone. I could come up with all these initiatives if I don't have a back like Gaileen's to stand on. So she is one of my unsung heroes. She's one of the council's unsung heroes. So when you recognize me, you recognize our work, you recognize obviously the persons who are supporting. But my passion for my work came from years. I think if anybody knows me, they will know that it's more of a passion in me for everything I do. Sometimes I get scared of it too. Yeah.
You know, you could have turned a blind eye, kept on going like everybody else, but you saw a need by a section of our community that people were passing by. And so you started Harambe House. You started the whole movement towards disability, the ability for people to be accessible, disabled accessible across this island, talking it up when other people were trying to keep it quiet. What was it in you that led you to finding that space?
You know, I came from a background, well, you know, I'm born in Guyana, and we have a mixture of nationalities. So I never grew up with this separatism and this person is any different to me. And so I think it naturally was in me to really look at everything that's being offered in society as equal for everybody. And it just naturally came to me that, you know, I love dogs, I love animals, obviously, you know, but it came to me naturally that I have to, and I go back to this passion to see that I have to fix things. And I know I keep getting that from everybody close to me saying, you can't fix everything, Rosanna. But I feel that I have to, I just feel like I have to fix it. This is my time on earth, I have to fix these things, so.
If not me, then who? That's what you're saying. If not me, then who? And so you follow your inspiration, and you've been doing this now for a while. But Gayleen, how is it working with Rosanna? You know, is it the sort that says, oh my gosh, I just want to come to work and just focus on what I have to do, but Rosanna comes with a different idea, and you have to get up. She's like a fireball.
Yes, she is. Yes, it's a good collaboration working with her. We support her, and yeah, it's great inspiration.
When you look back, Gayleen, at the journey that you've both traveled, and that the organization has traveled, and you've seen the results. I know Rosanna is so humble, she doesn't want to talk about it, really. But look at the results for just a moment and see the changes that you brought to people.
Yes, please.
Tell me what you see.
I've seen changes in society that has made things, you know, the accessibility for persons with disabilities, it's been a great, we've come a long way. Sorry. Yeah.
You know, I remember, Rosanna, when you launched that in Barbados, a fully accessible Barbados, I was working elsewhere at the time, and we amplified that message. We went out into the spaces to see what was going on. You took us on walking tours so we experience what people who are blind experience ourselves. And I'm just thinking that in itself was bold and courageous.
But you know, what happened with this recognition is a recognition for the work, right? And the work is all those programs that we have developed at the Council. Fully Accessible Barbados is a catalyst that really catapulted the change and encouraged the change, working with government, working with international agencies, with our own members. We developed programs that the hotel industry is now reaping benefits because they're recognizing that their need for access, the need for accessible destinations is critical for us. We at the council, we use that to create the access for our own people. So we felt if we are going to open up access for our people, we have to go where all the focus is and attention is. Fully Accessible Barbados, and that has been opening up for us. We have been seeing our people coming out more and more, enjoying everything that they should be enjoying, you know. And then we have our school programs, which is including and opening up early inclusion for children with disabilities. So it's a lot of things that are happening, and we are thrilled.
I am so thrilled because just in Parliament on Tuesday, you saw what came out of that. The work that you have done has reached the highest levels of government, and now they are legislating things as a consequence.
Exactly.
That's your activism.
Yeah, exactly. That is what I mean. It's a recognition that our work has been making an impact. And that's what you need, you know. We're not on this earth alone. Like I said, even with Gayleen and our team, we are all little unsung heroes behind the scenes, you know. But that bill was really, to me, historic, because that's one of the bills. Actually, when we first started at the council, we didn't have no legislation that addressed the issues of persons with disabilities, none. What we came and we worked towards, we did the 3 UN CRPD, we got that signed. We got parking for persons with disabilities legislated. We got increased recently. We got our Disability Act. We got this now. employment equality. So it's a lot of behind the scenes work. Not necessarily, so you don't see us in the forefront, but we are really, really happy that we are making an impact, and that is all. And I want to share that with young people too as well. Going into areas that make a difference in this world is not just for you alone. You're going to get old person. You're going to need ease of access. We all will need ease of access.
And we're all just an oomph away from a disability of some sort. And so here it is, you've created an opportunity, because there was a time when we thought if you were blind, just go and cane chairs. You know, or make a mop. There was a thinking at the time, that's all you could do.
Yeah.
And you have turned that around.
Yes.
Where we see them as contributing significant members of our community.
Blind
as
cricket.
Well. Blind cricket, exactly.
That was something that came out of the Barbados Council for the Disabled as well. So when you look back at it, it is satisfying, you know. It is. And I would encourage all Barbadians to play their part in any way, in businesses, at home, you know, wherever you can provide access to services, even your own home. I would say, think about your home. When anybody at home becomes immobile and can't walk anymore, what you have to do, go and break a door down, go and make an indoor bathroom more accessible. The 3 steps that you got outside, you could have put a nice aesthetically graded walkway that leads to your door. Everybody can enter. It doesn't have to be a ramp, nice pathway, you know. Yeah. Think future, think about ensuring that you include, and not just to insure with the insurance company that your house sticks up.
You're so right on that score. There's so much more we could talk about the work of Rosanna Tudor, and people online saying congratulations to you, Miss Tudor, on your award. Marcia Roth, thank you for your comment. And I join in saying that because having sat as one of the judges, you know, it was a no-brainer. And so it became a close competition. Carla won, but you had to be the second as far as we were concerned because of the phenomenal work, the self-sacrifice, the personal financial sacrifice that you've also made to the work that you've done. And indeed, but you have never given up. You persist and you insist. And we see the changes as a consequence of your insistence and perseverance. And I think we have to applaud that as a community and as a country. And we want to continue celebrating. So congratulations. Well done. Thou good and faithful servant to Barbados. I know your team is with you all the time. And I know that your organization is also marking a significant milestone. So next week,
50th year.
We'll be talking about that and the work that still continues.
Oh, yes.
Indeed. And so I want to, again, celebrate you and wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you. And just finally, I want to say it's not an award. It's a recognition of our work.
Yes.
It's a recognition, and that is what makes it worthwhile.
Indeed. It made it worthwhile for us this morning to hear from the heroes. And the hero in herself, Rosanna Tudor of the Barbados Council for the Disabled. She has been recognized by CIBC as an unsung hero among us. And so we had to celebrate her and celebrate the great work that she's done. It's not an award, it's just a recognition. And so thanks to her, and thanks to Gayleen as well, and the council for doing the phenomenal work they do for a segment of our community, but they're doing it in a way that includes the whole community. And so that's it for today. My little crew joins me in saying to all of you, have a lovely weekend. Be the will of the Lord. We'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.